Here we go, and the first world is indeed World 6. And our first fort is the World 4 Fortress. Ah, and Classic taking a death off of that first hotfoot. He's deciding this time he's going to go try the pipe. And that pipe is blocked off by a bridge. GreatWightHope making his way now to Boom Boom. And another death for Classic Gamer in 7-6. He's trying another option now, opting for 7-3. GreatWightHope going against those Hammer Brothers. And getting himself a hammer. That's an awesome first item to get. Could let him skip a lot of space in the first couple of worlds. And GreatWhite now going up to Super Tanks. Classic finishing off his level. Classic giving another try to the World 4 Fortress. And GreatWhite finishing up with his Super Tank. GreatWightHope trying the pipe now. We already know where it leads. Let's see if the bridge got built. And it did. GreatWhite taking a huge opportunity there. But going back to play the last fortress in the line. Classic getting his hammer now. And this fortress is the Ice Fortress. Classic Gamer now trying his luck at the Super Tanks. And yes, Stewface79, the level order and pipe order on the world map are also randomized. GreatWhite just about to finish up the Ice Fort. And Classic now going into his Ice Fort. GreatWightHope now taking the pipe that he saw earlier. Classic flew under a majority of the Ice Fort. 6-7 has become, looks like 6-5 with a Boss Bass. And he got gulped. GreatWightHope trying 6-5 again. Classic Gamer now taking his pipe to the second half of World 6. And Classic is about to have his showdown with the Boss Bass. Oh, that's unfortunate. GreatWhite taking a hit there. He's going to have to go re-get his flight. Classic just about done with the level. Still has some flight. And Classic Gamer just finishing up that level 6-5. Classic finds 1-5 as his next level. GreatWightHope going back to play the end card. So think about the end card is you can get any manner of items from it. all the items you're going to get are randomized. ClassicGamer88 making quick work of that 1-5, as GreatWightHope starts his round with 1-5. Classic starting his airship, and it appears to be the World 2 airship. And Classic's going to be facing off against Lemmy. So also in the randomizer, the amount of hit points each Koopa Kid has is randomized. GreatWightHope making his way through the World 2 airship. Didn't quite get enough speed. He's going to have to go down and around the long way. And GreatWightHope finishing up with Lemmy. It was only a 2-hit. And the World 6 King must be a huge Star Wars fan. And World 2 is World 1. Going into 1-6, we find 4-3. And Princess Peach's letter giving us a P-Wing for that first world. GreatWightHope about to start 4-3. Classic Gamer making quick work of the level. He's just about done. And uses that hammer to break the lock to get through. And Classic Gamer is going to find 6-6. 6-6 being one of the tougher levels. If he had a cloud, I'm sure he probably would have skipped it, because it's got a nasty reputation for being long and full of enemies. Meanwhile, GreatWightHope finishing up his stint in 4-3. And GreatWightHope also opting to break the lock with a hammer. Oh, and GreatWightHope getting cheaped right at the start of 6-6. Now he's been intercepted by a coin ship. Classic opting not to take the end card, just going right for the coin ship. The item that awaits us, there's a music box. Oh, and Classic Gamer taking a death to the Hammer or Boomerang Brothers in the coin ship. They've turned back into Hammer Brothers, and he makes quick work of them, getting the music box. Classic Gamer starting on the airship. And it's our first Fred of the night! We have the World 1 airship. So Larry Koopa. Classic taking down Larry Koopa with a combination of fireballs and jumps. I'm sorry, Sarah Zelda, I am not sure what channel the Link to the Past is on at 8:30. I apologize. And the World 1 King has gotten his hands on the Power Glove. He's so bad. Princess Toadstool giving us a P-Wing again as GreatWightHope goes into the World 1 airship. And at the start of World 2, we find 4-1. Now GreatWightHope facing off against Larry Koopa. And now GreatWightHope finishing up the battle against Larry Koopa as Classic Gamer going to 2-2. And he finds 2-3. Classic deciding to go over 2-3. Just drop right onto that pipe after hitting the P-switch. GreatWhite now moving into 4-1. Classic Gamer checking the pipe to see where it leads. And it leads right to a Sledge Brother. Reward for defeating that Sledge Brother will be a star. (2-3) brings us to 2-1. And the sun is shining brightly on our runners tonight. GreatWightHope trying the end card again. Matched up some flowers. Matched up some mushrooms. So even though it shows him matching up flowers and mushrooms, those are actually not what he's going to get. The items that you receive as prizes are also randomized. So it looks like he got 2 hammers and a fire flower. End card going to be very profitable in this seed. And Classic Gamer finds the World 1 Fortress. Now something to know about the World 1 Fortress is it is never required in order to break a lock. So he's just opting to go right for the item at the top. Now he's going to fight 2 Hammer Brothers. GreatWightHope just about finished up with 2-3. And the reward for Classic is a mushroom. One level stands in the way, and it's 2-5. Which I believe this is 3-4. GreatWightHope trying the pipe now. And it leads to a lock, which he could break with that hammer if he wanted to. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He just caught right back up. Classic again, not going for the end card. And yet finds himself, I believe this is the World 7 airship. Takes a hit from the burner. GreatWightHope taking on his Hammer Brothers. And Morton is a high jump Morton. GreatWightHope about to start the World 7 airship. Oh, and that Morton took a lot of hits. The Classic Gamer does take him down. Alright, chat, let's get your guesses. What world do you think we're going to go to next? And the king left his wand in his other frog suit. Good to know. And World 4 is World 3. The item that they got from the letter was an anchor. And here's 7-4. In the vanilla game, this is normally an auto-scroller, but the randomizer has turned off most of the auto-scrollers in the game, just to kind of make sure we can get through them pretty quickly. GreatWightHope finished up against Morton. He's going to get the anchor there. Cool thing about the anchor is the normal effect of the anchor is it will hold down an airship, but in Randomizer we don't need to worry about that, so it just randomly picks an item, and that's what it is. GreatWhite about to start World 3, and he's going to find 7-4. And Classic gets gulped by Boss Bass. Taking a star in this time, I don't blame them one bit. Classic just about to finish up with 3-7. Shells that Boss Bass right away. Now the two runners have about a 1 level difference. Classic Gamer trying the pipe, see where it goes. And it leads to the other half of World 3. And he's reached World 7 Fortress, otherwise known as Fort Knox. Trick to this level is you need flight. Oh, GreatWightHope got chomped by Boss Bass. GreatWightHope's gonna P-wing over the Boss Bass. The interesting thing about Boss Bass is it spawns on the same kind of level you're at. So he's trying to go up to make the Boss Bass spawn away. Classic Gamer finding 4-2. With a Boss Bass! Kind of looked like a Mega Goomba there for a second. But makes it through that level very quickly, and GreatWightHope getting a 5-up. GreatWightHope already knows how good the end cards are, so I think he's going to keep playing them. And it looks like the card is finished off. Classic Gamer taking on the Boomerang brother. And the matches GreatWightHope got are just Tanuki suits. Classic Gamer trying a whole bunch of pipes, trying to find the one that will lead right to where he wants. And the airship is locked by a lock. He doesn't have any hammers, so he's got to figure out which fortress will break it. And the fortress he finds is Piranha Fortress, 7 Fortress 2. GreatWightHope now entering Fort Knox. He's got to go through the secret passage, break the bank to get his flight. And a damage boost by Classic Gamer. Yes, Sarah Zelda, the goal is to get to Bowser first and win. Because World 8 is not randomized, it is always the last world. Now let's see if that fortress was what broke the lock. And here we go, Classic Gamer about ready to take on the airship. And we have the World 6 airship here. And a Swag Tanuki statue kill from GreatWhite. Now let's go to Wendy. Oh no, Wendy's an Earthquaker, but she goes down in 2 hits. So our runners will probably be very relieved to see that. As we finish up with World 4. Alright chat, where are we going to go next? What's our next world? We've already seen 6, 1, 2, and 3. And the World 3 King is very upset about being turned into a human. Seeing a lot of 4s, 5s, and 7s in the chat. And we're into World 5. The first level of World 5 is 1-4. Again, normally an auto-scroller, but it has been un-auto-scrolled, so we can run right through it. And GreatWightHope now going to Piranha Fort and gets lava'd. GreatWightHope taking the pipe. Leads to the airship. And he is gonna break it with the hammer. Classic Gamer finding the World 4 Fortress 2, making his way through that. A lot of hot foots here. Taking 2 hits as we move into Boom Boom. And we're about halfway through our race, so let's give those runners a follow. They're doing a great job giving us some wonderful entertainment. Let's see if GreatWightHope can handle Wendy a little better. Sure does. Classic Gamer taking on the coin ship. And gets a hammer from the coin ship. So the piece of information that Great White has that Classic doesn't is that hammers live in the end cards. Classic now finds himself into a beta stage. So something interesting to know is that there were 8 levels that were originally in the game for Mario 3 but never made it to the final game. They've been added into the randomizer and we call them the beta levels just to mix it up and give it some variety so they can be sprinkled in. So Classic Gamer makes it through the beta level, skips the end card, goes to 5-8 and finds 5-9. So 5-9 is one of 2 levels that does not have the auto-scrolling removed because of the way the level moves. We can't take it out or the game kind of doesn't know what to do. Great White taking a death there in 5-1, which is really 1-4. And GreatWightHope finishing up 1-4. Classic Gamer finishing up 5-9. One level left. And we find another beta level. Classic's just gonna book it through. GreatWightHope fighting against Boom Boom now. And now Classic Gamer about to go on the airship. It looks like we have the World 5 airship. Classic gonna make quick work of the World 5 airship to fight against Roy. GreatWightHope now on the coin ship. And Roy's a 4-hit. And this coin ship, since we saw it a little earlier, this should be the hammer that Classic already picked up. Yep. GreatWightHope now playing his beta level. And we do find World 7 next. So the interesting thing about World 7 is World 7 can be really quick, or can be very long, depending on the luck you get with the seed. And the question in chat, what is Fred? Well, Fred is the creator of the randomizer, so any level that's in its proper place, we call it a Fred. As if to say, Fred, is this really randomized? And Classic Gamer finishing up the Lava Fortress. And Great White's now into their version of 5-9. Classic has about a 4-level lead. Alright, Classic taking the first pipe of World 7. Trying 7-6. which is really 7-2, and it has Boss Bass. Fortunately, Classic Gamer having the tail, he can jump over the giant pit. Great White now into the beta level. Classic trying the next pipe. And he finds the bottom island! We are poised to have a very short World 7, everybody. GreatWightHope finishing up the beta level. Very close to finishing off World 5. Just has Roy and the World 5 airship left to go. And the anchor randomized itself into a mushroom. The two piranha levels in World 7 are also not randomized. They're kind of fixed on the world map. So let's see what item we get from the piranha levels. GreatWightHope about to finish up Roy. Classic gets a P-Wing from the piranha level. And now we move into World 7's airship, which is really the World 4 airship. GreatWightHope finishing up World 5. Classic Gamer now has about a 1 world lead. Then we find Ludwig. And Classic Gamer makes quick work of Ludwig. You're gonna guess the World 4 is next? Whatever would give you that thought. So the thing about World 7 is, if GreatWightHope makes similar routing decisions, his World 7 can be very quick, just like Classic Gamer's. But at the same time, it could also be long if the routing doesn't work out in his favor. And Classic Gamer starting World 7, which is actually World 4. Goes into 4-3, which is really 1-3. GreatWightHope now doing the lava fort, finding a star. Classic opting not to take the item from 1-3, but just to finish the level out. And now there's 2 forts in the way. We're going to the World 5 ground fort. One of them will build a bridge to the airship of World 4, and the other will break a lock somewhere. GreatWightHope playing the end card again. We already know what's in store for the end card, so it's a really good play here. And it was the wrong choice. Classic's gonna have to play the other fort, which is 6 Fort 3, which we affectionately refer to as the Carpet Fort. And the second room of the Carpet Fort having some erratic hotfoots to play through. GreatWightHope sailing over Boss Bass. And Classic going right for the airship, opting to take a P-Wing. And we already know this is the World 3 airship, so he's just going to fly right over it. GreatWightHope finding himself in 1-6. And Classic to face off against Iggy Koopa. which is a 3-hit Iggy Koopa, and Classic Gamer's trying to clip, but he missed it. So for those who aren't familiar with the mechanics of the game, if you can clip and get the wand right at the very top of the screen, it will skip the entire floating back down sequence. Me change. What are you changing? Don't change the channel, please. And we get an anchor from that letter. So World 8 is what we call the Great Equalizer. Depending on how the pipe structure is, and the lock structure, and the fort structure, you could get a really fast World 8, or a really slow World 8. And the World 8 Fortress is the World 8 Fortress. GreatWightHope finished up the fight against Ludwig. Classic making a beeline for the door. But he is going to need to take another cycle. So right now, Classic has about a 1 world lead over Great. And Classic gets the 8 fort clip. GreatWightHope finds himself in 1-3. And Classic Gamer going up to the tanks finds Bowser's Air Force, which is one of 3 military stages. We already saw super tanks. And now GreatWightHope playing the ground fortress. All these locks that Classic is breaking, they could be breaking locks, they could be building bridges. We don't really know what's happening until we see it for our own eyes. And the Navy stage turned into the first fortress of World 6. Ride the elevator. And we have some swag by Classic. GreatWightHope finishing up with the ground fort. Classic finding a star in Elevator Fortress, which could give a very quick boom boom kill. And we got it! GreatWightHope now having to play Carpet Fort. And Classic Gamer takes another pipe. And it leads right to Bowser! Classic saved up a hammer suit and a star. GreatWightHope finishing up Carpet Fort. Now Classic climbing the staircase. GreatWightHope finished up with Carpet Fort. The bridge will be built to the airship. So GreatWightHope almost ready for the confrontation with Iggy. Classic Gamer now confronting Bowser, and Bowser is down! Get your GGs in chat, everybody! And some more swag. Classic Gamer throwing hammers to the tune of the music finishes with an SRL time of 34 minutes and 54 seconds. Meanwhile, GreatWightHope finishing up with the battle against Iggy, about ready to start World 8. Joe Pro, this is Warpless any percent. Alright. Great White is now going to start World 8. GreatWightHope finding himself in the dark, contending with the World 8 Fortress. And getting claimed by some lava in the World 8 Fortress. GreatWight decided to go another direction. We know that this was the pipe that led to Bowser, but we have 2 bridges to build. GreatWightHope is now in the water fort, which is one we didn't see from Classic. And GreatWightHope getting a very quick hammer boom boom kill. So Classic Gamer, let's see if he wants to come in for an interview. Hello, hello, Classic Gamer. Good game.
Thank you.
So, tell us about the seed. What do you think?
Any seed that would start with any number at the beginning and then 666, you already know.
There we go. So what parts do you find easiest, hardest? Just overall impressions.
I'll have to say, that's probably the cleanest run I've had in this tournament, so that's probably the happiest I've been with any run.
There we go. And a very respectable time, too.
Yeah, for what the seed tried to throw, you know, and all its comical moments of not letting me try to progress, yes, that's a pretty ridiculous time.
So at this point, you're now set to be in the bracket stages. Clean sweep of your group.
Yeah, we achieved the dream. 8-0.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Talk about any of the experiences? How's your...
Go ahead.
How's your Friday?
How's my Friday? Full of RNG and death.
I can see that. It's awesome. So Great White is now in the World 8 Fort again.
All I pretty much want to say, I am ready for the brackets. I'm done with what I would call my quote-unquote warm-up. I'm ready for the heavy hitters to come in my head and chop it off.
There we go. When do the brackets start?
It'll start March 11th, so I got some time to relax, get into my hyperbolic time chamber, train, and then come back and try to destroy everything in my path.
There we go. Sounds like we've got a man with a mission.
Hey, I'm just trying to do what I can. I've been taking it match by match, and it's been working. So let's hope we can keep it going.
Absolutely. Now Great White is on to the Air Force level. Now I noticed you didn't go for any of the end cards this seed.
This seed? Every seed. Screw end cards. They suck. When you're good, you don't need easy mode.
That's right, because the brackets have the end cards turned off, right?
And the hammer locks. Thank goodness, so everybody needs to use skill. And if you don't use skill, I'm going to exploit you for using end cards and hammer locks.
Great White took one death in the Air Force, and now he's trying again with a P-Wing.
You know, I don't want to sound mean or anything, but hey, if you want to make it happen, you got to bring it.
Alright, Great White taking the pipe to Bowser. Let's see. He did get both bridges built. And music box swag.
For once, I only got one music box.
Do you normally have trouble getting those during seeds? Get too many of them?
Yeah, I usually get like 100 of them, and then I use them just so the Hammer Brothers leave me alone.
Alright, Great White about one room away from Bowser. He's gonna have to make Bowser stomp through the floor.
I don't even remember where I got the Hammer Bro suit. It might have been through one of the letters, maybe Bowser's letter, so he helped me out.
And for those of you who are noticing, Bowser does not have a hitbox on his lower half, so you're free to just kind of duck and cover, wait for him to do his thing, and eventually he'll just smash his own floor for the fun of it.
Play Super Mario Advance 4 if you want the true Bowser experience, everyone.
NY Jets for Life 15 asks if there's another race after this one. Not on Speed Gaming, but on Speed Gaming 5, we have Raikou Rider and Nickname, along with... Let me see who the other pair is. No, there's two pairs over on that channel. And GreatWightHope finishes up Bowser. Let's get some GGs in chat. GreatWightHope finishing up with an SRL time of 43 minutes and 42 seconds. So yeah, if you want to run over to Speed Gaming 5, there's two races. One is Raikou Rider and Nickname. The other is Olicon and S Diesel. So they're racing over on Speed Gaming 5. Alright, so give these runners a follow. They did an awesome job this seed.
Only follow me if you want to go to the dark side.
That's right, we do have some information if you're interested at all in the randomizer. Come join the Discord, come check out our brackets, come check out all the information that we've got. It was just put into this Twitch chat.
I see GreatWightHope. Looks like he wants to get in here, so I will wait for him.
Yeah, it'd be great to.
I think he needs the speed gaming invite if somebody can send that to him. Do we know if he's been able to get the invite to come in here?
I don't see him in the room.
Well, I guess while we're waiting, I just want to give a big thanks to everybody, that's been able to put this together. Thank you, Kingness, for commentating. Everyone that has been handling the stuff behind the scenes to give everybody a great show for this SMB3 randomizer tournament. Hopefully, all my madness that I did was great to watch for all of you tonight. And it's been very interesting, but it's gonna get even more crazy.
Especially with those brackets coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Is anyone out in the staff able to get an invite for Great White? He wants to come in. Alright, I think I see him in setup now, so he should be in here soon. Yep, there he is. Hey, Great White, good game out there.
Good game. Good game, Classic. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, GG to you as well.
I made a gamble with the card games, and it went great enough that I think I could have beaten you if this was Flags 1. But unfortunately, there were no locks to be found.
Yeah, I wish I got one cloud for 5-9, but just had to play.
Okay, so because skipped some Hammer Bros just with the way the routes took me, and I didn't find any clouds. And yes, when I went into 5-9, I thought, oh man, it'd be nice to have a cloud here.
Yeah, still better than Atlantis, though.
I did not see Atlantis, luckily.
So Great White, do you have another match or two coming up in the near future?
I have my 2 matches with JJ Blue scheduled for Sunday, 5 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. So back to back.
Excellent.
I'm pretty happy with the way I've been playing. I do need to work on figuring out World 8, but at the same time, by the time I got there, Classic had just finished, so I kind of went, well, let's go hope there are locks somewhere. And no locks.
But you did manage to get your 2 bridges built pretty quickly.
Yep, I mean, all of the forts in World 8 were pretty closely clumped together. One was behind another because, of course, it was. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good, despite being 0-2. I've got the toughest person in the group out of the way, so uphill from here.
It's what we like to hear.
And hopefully, Classic and I get a rematch in the bracket phase. Good luck in the bracket stage, Classic.
Well, thank you, and best of luck to you, because, you know, like they say, anything can happen. Just get a couple wins, and you never know, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. This was an awesome set of games.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for doing commentary.
Yeah, same from we. Thank you, everyone, and like I said, we'll try to make it happen, and I'll see everybody in the brackets when we go to do it.
And they just sent out a link if you're interested in seeing more Randomizer. The first round of a doubleheader appears to have just started on Speed Gaming 5, so go check it out.
Ooh, yeah. Go do that. That's where I'm going. Take care, everybody.
Yes, have a good night.
Enjoy your evenings.